How do I begin to know a place?
For that place to be alive in my soul.
Must I know the soil?
Must I know the wind and rock?
What is required to be a steward of a sacred space? To be trusted by the water and the clouds.
Through the changing seasons,
I dedicate my being to explore and discover.
by day and by night, to become one with the good land.
Devil's Lake is one of the most popular state parks in Wisconsin. It's in the central part of the state, just south of the small town of Baraboo.
Without Devil's Lake, the Midwest is pretty barren for excellent rock quality.
What we have here, the Baraboo quartzite, is undoubtedly some of the best rock that I've ever touched.
You know, and this place just has an unlimited potential for rock climbing.
Hey, sorrow, won't you be my wife?
Devil's Lake has a rich climbing history.
An old retired potato farmer started free soloing some of the smaller rock formations in the late 30s, early 40s. But proper bouldering was first introduced here when John Gill came through town.
One of the first problems established here, and still one of the absolute standard test pieces for V4, was climbed by Gill, the Little Flatiron.
Eric Zishi, he started visiting the lake. He's put up first ascents throughout the country. In 1985, he top roped the climb called the Zipper. I believe it was the hardest climb at the lake for a while. He ended up pulling the rope and bouldering it out with no crash pads.
When we first started bouldering here, there's very few people out bouldering. I think we saw 3 groups of people out in a season. The first year we were bouldering at the lake, and since then we've seen many, many more people. Bouldering itself's taking off. There's a lot more people out exploring, looking for boulders. I think the people that climb at Devil's Lake, it's something special to them. I go on a lot of trips. I climb a bunch of different places, and every time I come back here, I'm like, oh, I really love it here. It's just different, and I think it's something special to people who started climbing here and have climbed here for years.
The rock at Devil's Lake, it can feel slippery when you're first starting out and extremely frustrating at times.
When I first started climbing here, I absolutely hated it. I thought it was the worst thing I'd ever climbed on. And I kind of took off for a season and climbed elsewhere and climbed on sandstone, came back, and it's my favorite ever. You have to hold it differently. It's very particular. You kind of have to have a different style of climbing than you do other places.
Open your heart, man. You're so free to roam. Get back now. Make your brain take some facts, yeah. Make your hands seem to clap that. Hip hop, what's happening? All the waves are a crashing. All the throats are a gasping. All the triggers are flashing. All the lights are a flashing. All to the rhythm of a passion. Hey, hey, lady, lady in white. Open your arms and enlighten my sight. Comfort and carry me to my new home. Open.
Devil's Lake is the closest thing in the Midwest, by far for most people. Closest other major areas would be Southern Illinois, that's about 7 hours away. All the southeast areas like Rocktown, Little Rock City, Horse Pens, those are a solid 12 hours. After high school, I moved to Bishop for 10 years, and in 2011, I needed to move back to Wisconsin. I was really hoping there'd be a lot of climbing here. It became very clear early on to me that there was a lot more stuff to be done here. We've been looking for boulders for the past few years, and they just keep popping up.
We kind of always just felt like there wasn't anything to do. Everything had been climbed before by the people that come before us, and then Ian and Peter have kind of come along and reopened all these areas that I've been going through for years and just kind of assumed that there was nothing left to climb, and they basically doubled the number of climbs that are there, which is kind of really cool to see.
Pretty much every time we go out climbing, we find new stuff and put up new stuff. There's so much more out there. It's kind of ridiculous.
Back when I started climbing at the lake, almost all the bouldering was along the trails on the North Shore or on the East Bluff. And it wasn't until maybe 10 years ago that people started to realize that up in the talus fields with crash pads and a little bit of work that they could actually make safe landings out of all these problems.
I grew up outside of Chicago, and I'd come to Devil's Lake with my little brother sometimes in my family. And this was back in 2000 or 2001, which was the time that Dave Graham and crew were developing Chaos Canyon for the first time. I remember looking at the talus fields here all around Devil's Lake and saying to my little brother, hey, I bet this is kind of like Chaos Canyon. I bet there are problems just like the ones that Dave Graham's doing in the talus field. 15 years later, I moved to Wisconsin and started hiking around those talus fields and started finding problems and developing them. And lo and behold, some of them are fairly similar to problems in Chaos Canyon. I'm not like going out and setting boulder problems. I'm not chipping them in any way, but I am going out and climbing them and giving them a name and suggesting a grade, and maybe that means that people will go out and climb them in the future. Today we're gonna head back down the East Bluff to check out this sandstone boulder called Greatest Show. Been working a sit-start to it. The Greatest Show problem itself broke maybe 3 years ago. It's pretty unique for Devil's Lake because it's sandstone and most of everything else is quartzite.
Try to float, try to rise by the coast, by the tide. Lot of hope is modified, hiding close to my surprise. Cracking the code, half of the facts are exposed. Capture your soul, slow and accurate though. Master the mode now, heart is shattered. Living through my thesis, then I cut my fingers while picking up the pieces. Losing by inches, a loose intervention. But love's only enemy is human intention. Now I know that, the whole back, the whole cast, and blow past with no gas, just vocab and toe tabs. It's so sad, deeper than the music. When the bottom line freedom, digested another track. But I'm trying to find freedom. Stop looking for love, you're looking for trouble. Found innocence in a struggle after crying for puddles. Never seen a better endeavor. Pressure my set of wings, lead them with this freedom to meet them somewhere in Evergreen.
Evergreen, even though scenes change, it's still me, still makes the face remains. It's 4 to the 9, that's my 9 to 5. These numbers don't lie, it's my everyday job. 24/7, life ain't that complicated. Matter of fact, it's just as bad as we make it.
Devil's Lake's special to me because it's the first place I ever went rock climbing. I guess I didn't even know how good I had it until I've been to the Red a bunch, I've been to Waco, I've been to Rocky Mountain National Park, and I keep coming back here, and it's my favorite. It's my favorite place to climb.
And movements, thoughts remain fluid. So we do it just to prove it, even if it's stupid. And then regret it when we lose it. Thinking here we go again, like the death of Jim Morrison, they locked away the doors again.
Evergreen, I spit the essence of life. My tongue is my sword, so I keep blood on my knife. I'm chasing immortality while fools covered the ice. They don't understand fame always comes with a price. Rap suffice to get my message out to the folks. Clouded by hope, they calling me the fountain of dope. Words that I wrote inspired other people to speak. To the mass they can reach, I got a gift with the speech. The industry is poised to put the science on mute. Never retreat, I regroup and come back with recruits. Ready to shoot with brain power. Mine is your 9, here to transform the game on tracks, but time is prime. Inhale the essence of pine, evergreen.
I hope people keep exploring and putting out more climbs. And this has always been my escape from normal Wisconsin life.
Without this place, Wisconsin just wouldn't be the same.
A lot of people say that Devil's Lake's climbed out, at least in the past they did. And right now, a lot of people are putting in a lot of work to explore and find really good boulders. There's still amazing problems going up. The good land to me is more than just the rocks and more than just the climbing, it's the people. Even when I'm out here by myself, it's a really special experience. It's something special we all have in common when we're out here. Devil's Lake is absolutely a part of who I am as a climber and a person.
How do I begin to know a place?
How do I begin to know a place?
How do I begin to know a place?
How do I begin to know a place? To become one with the good land.
And if there was a time for me to say something, it'd be now. It'd be now. And if there was a place where I should be right now, it'd be here. It'd be here.